Children of the night, what music they make.
They're all gonna laugh at you!
They're coming to get you, Barbara.
What's up?
I'm not gonna hurt you. I'm just gonna bash you a bit.
Welcome to Final Guys, the podcast that makes horror great again.
Oh. Hey, I think you can get a hat like that.
You can. I'm Jack. That's Hunter. That's Jason. What's up, fellas?
Go ahead.
I was waiting for you. I was giving it to you. Hi, how are you? Nice to see you.
I don't like when we're all being polite at the beginning.
I know, really. Well,
Freaks
we're
me
all
out.
three sober. And
What's up, fatties?
there we go. That's much better.
Thank you.
You
Slap
write any
dick.
crappy books this week, as usual?
I read Michael Crichton's The Andromeda Evolution.
I was going to ask you about that. Is that
What?
related to the stream?
Yes. So it's a sequel written by Daniel Wilson, who's taken over the mantle.
Oh.
Any good?
I have to tell you, it's really hard to tell the difference between the styles. So he's got it.
That's a compliment.
Hey, anytime I'm reading stuff in a Crichton book, I'm going, I don't even know what he's talking about anymore. I'm like, here we go. So this guy was like, yeah, oh, geosynchronous orbit. And yeah, sure. Sounds good.
Love research as a book.
Yeah, it really is. I think he's a scientist or something in real life, so it makes sense.
Cool.
Batman's a scientist.
Is he really?
It's a Simpsons quote.
Oh.
I remember watching The Simpsons when I was 12. Probably the last time.
You were probably watching it as a fetus. It's been on so long.
Yeah, probably pretty close.
Yeah.
This
Gotcha.
week's movie is Extracurricular, which is a movie I watched by accident and happened to like. So I threw it out there to see if you guys like it or not. So when we get to that, we'll see how I did.
Remember what I called it last week?
Oh, the extraterrestrial.
Right. So I went bananas trying to find this movie, plugging in extraterrestrial.
Jesus.
I'm on Netflix, I'm on Amazon, I'm on Hulu going, what the hell is this movie? And then I listened to the episode, like, oh, it's extracurricular.
I almost had a hard. Good.
Well, you just go to the show notes and there's a link to it.
I know, I had to, whatever.
I do all this work for you people. Don't even use it. I almost had a heart attack setting this show up because I'm getting the link for it on Amazon and I'm like, I'm trying to find a picture for our website and I'm looking, I'm like, none of this shit is in the movie. What? Did I watch the wrong movie?
Uh-oh.
And then I'm like starting to freak. I'm like, oh God, we're starting in like an hour. No, I watched the right movie, but when getting all the info for the episode earlier today, I typed in extracurricular activities.
That's the other movie I watched.
That's the other that was in my head from last week, and I was all screwed up. It took me like 20 minutes to figure out what the problem was.
I thought me or you, one of us might have watched the wrong movie.
It was close.
All right, well, we did
They're
it.
both
We
pretty
synced
good.
up. We've
They're
been
both pretty
together
good.
so long, we're syncing.
There you go.
We're not complete idiots.
Not
Only
yet.
partial.
Mhm.
Before we get to the news, anything to cover before we get
Yeah.
to what people want to hear?
Yeah, drinking game.
Oh yeah.
There's a drinking game. You want to flash that up on the screen there?
Somebody remembers.
There you go.
I got to say, one of our listeners, Sober and Silly, sent me texts of clips of the Uncle Floyd show. Remember
Uncle
that
Floyd,
thing?
Jesus.
And I'm watching that going, wow, we are just way better than Uncle Floyd in terms of production quality, everything. So every week we have rules, drinking rules. So if we say these words, you have to drink. It's a law. So if Jack says the words teen, space, or games, bend the elbow. If I say girl, text, or tragedy, chugga wugga. If Jason says murder, photo, just had a little stroke there. I was like Brian Seacrest, photo or pattern, take a drink. And if either three of us say wrong, slasher, or mask, you got to suck it up.
Okay.
So there you go. And my apologies to Ryan Seacrest.
Seacrest out.
Seacrest out. Seacrest in. Remember Stern used to do that all the time? Seacrest out. Seacrest in.
I did not hear that.
Out.
You could say whatever you want about Ryan Seacrest, but the one thing I will give that guy is there was a video on the internet where he shows somebody how on your iPhone, if you push down this button, you can slide the cursor so that you could put it anywhere you want in a sentence.
Mhm.
And it was an epiphany for me and 50 million other people. They're like, you could do that? Oh my God.
He did give us Kim Kardashian too. So, national treasure.
Ryan Seacrest gave us Kim Kardashian?
Yeah, he produces that show.
Oh. I thought Robert Kardashian gave us Kim Kardashian. O.J. Simpson really gave us the Kardashians.
Jason right now is looking for a way to murder himself.
Well, if the glove don't fit, you must acquit.
Jason doesn't like to talk about Kardashians. It makes him too excited.
Who's your favorite Kardashian? And the Jenners count.
Rob.
Which one looks like the power forward?
Well, that used to be
Is that Chloe?
Chloe.
Chloe's got a lot of work. She
Yeah,
looks
you
totally
wouldn't even
different.
recognize her anymore. It's sad we know these things.
Who's the other of the three? There's Chloe. Courtney.
Courtney. Oh,
Courtney.
yeah.
I think Courtney out of the three is the best looking of those three sisters. And I think Kendall Jenner is the better looking, but they're both.
I'm Team Kim.
Kylie had a lot of work done, but she's got a lot of money.
Jason does not
Jason's
have a lot
probably
of
more
patience
into
now.
what's Bruce Jenner?
He's out. Yeah, he's into Caitlyn.
Caitlyn, that's it.
Yeah. All right.
So, good athlete.
All right. So the news.
That's right.
This week, Caitlyn Jenner is going to be in the new remake of Alice, Sweet Alice.
Of Jennifer's Body.
Jenner's Body.
I'd watch that.
The first piece of news is for Jason Brant. Is he still here? There
Yes.
he is. Asher
Temporarily.
himself. Kiss my Asher. The Children of the Corn reboot is done.
Oh, it's in the can.
It's in the can. They were able to still film in, I think it was Australia. I don't know how they did it, but they filmed during the COVID shutdown. I don't know if they separated people or what, but they took whatever precautions they had to do, and they, for this piece of art, they finished Children of the Corn. So I don't have a release date or where it's going to be appearing, but I do know it's going to be a prequel to the original. It's probably going to have really nothing to do with almost nothing to do is what they say, with the 1984 movie, but it will be the story of how the Children of the Corn became the Children of the Corn and how they killed all their parents in Gatlin, Texas, or whatever it is.
It'd be funny if it's a cast of one. It's like a one-man show on Broadway, just in a cornfield.
It couldn't be worse.
Right. Maybe it's Billy Crystal doing his act in a cornfield.
I'd watch that.
I mean, put the Kardashians in it. At least something will, like.
We'll watch it.
I literally don't know what to say. I thought I was done. I thought it was over.
Oh, you ain't done, son.
I hate this show. I'm just going to quit before that movie comes out.
What would you rather watch? Another Children of the Corn or a few episodes of Catching Up with the Kardashians?
Children of the Corn.
Whoa.
Oh, yeah.
That's a bold statement.
Oh, it's not even close.
All right.
All right.
No more Armenian girls for Jason.
I think that's going to be when I watch the movie. I'm going to stop at Boston Market, get myself some corn, and then dig in that night and live the dream. Maybe get some General Tso's chicken.
Say you could just get a can of corn.
I mean, it's probably going to be out,
88
what, 2 weeks?
Who knows?
It might be. Maybe
I
it'd be the next drive-in movie.
Corn's only in season for another month or so. So
That's right. You kind of get it out there.
the next big piece of news concerns Halloween Kills, the next Halloween movie.
Woohoo!
Supposedly they're going to bring back a couple of old characters, and one of the ones that bring it back is Dr. freaking Loomis himself. I don't know how they're going to do it. I'm imagining some sort of Forrest Gumpy thing.
As a puppet?
But there's going to be a flashback with Dr. Loomis and Michael Myers back to 1978. So we could have like that Princess Leia from Rogue One, cartoony. Looks like Andy from Toy Story.
Wow. That'll be interesting. I want to see how they pull that off.
You know, in Rogue One, there's a scene where they do the Peter Cushing, Grand Moff Tarkin, and they show like a reflection of him. He's facing away, but you can see his reflection in the glass.
Right.
And I was like, if they had just stopped there, it would have been fine because he would have just got a kind of a glimpse of Peter Cushing without like the cartoony face.
Right.
Maybe if they just do like something in the dark, quick with old Donald Pleasance coverage, yeah, who knows?
He would have to be. Now he was old in 78, and this is many years later. He'd have to be pretty old in this.
Why?
It's a flashback.
Oh, flashback.
So they could just take some old footage of him.
You know what the best part about writing flashback scenes is? You just don't do it. And then you don't need to use deleted footage to put in there for no goddamn reason.
Yeah.
You're a curmudgeon tonight, aren't you?
Apparently I am.
I kind of side with you on this because if you're trying to elevate the series, and why do you need to dip back into that well? Just rely on your ability to craft a great story.
Yeah, I'm okay. I'll be in a better mood.
I think they should deep fake it, and the whole thing should be Donald Pleasance telling the story, and it's just him talking.
Can the movie open with John Houseman on the beach?
Yes,
telling a scary story.
Another CG John Houseman.
I hope it looks as good as Princess Leia did at the end of Rogue One when it looked like her mouth detached from her face.
Yeah, like Toy Story 2 looking Princess Leia.
It's the worst.
Hope.
Let
Baby, bye.
Let the dead be dead.
Anywho, the last piece of news, Jason, this might be up your alley because you're youngin'.
He thinks.
Netflix is going to be rebooting Unsolved Mysteries in July 1st. This feels like a show that you have like a deep love for.
I love the original Unsolved Mysteries. I didn't watch the newer one with Dennis Farina? Ferrara? What was his name?
Did Dennis Farina do that? I didn't even know.
Yeah.
You're a Robert Stack man.
Big Robert Stack man. It's going to be hard to... He had a good intensity on that show, so they're going to have a difficulty getting around that.
When we had the UFO flap in Westchester, they did an episode of that, and they put a light in the sky while they were filming, and it like sparked hundreds of frantic phone calls because they thought they were back.
Nice.
Look,
So
Good. I'm so old that I used to watch black and white reruns of The Untouchables with Robert Stack, and when the Kevin Costner movie came out, I thought it was garbage because Kevin Costner was no Robert Stack as Elliot Ness. And I'm sure most people out there don't even realize that Robert Stack was Elliot Ness.
Most people don't know who the hell Robert Stack is.
Right.
I'll tell you right now, we might as well be talking about some guy from 1733.
His voice.
One thing is they're not going to have a host. They realize that Robert Stack is too high of a bar, so they're just no. They'll just have the episodes no host.
All right. That's better.
Let's give it a shot.
Hey, July 1st is something to do.
I always liked it because it was half murder porn, half supernatural stuff. So it was a good mix.
And at the end of the episode, they're I think instead of the 800 number, they're going to have like a website. So if you have information on the case, you can still, but it's modern.
Yeah.
Use the web now.
I wonder if they'll go back and update them like they do the old ones on TV where they show this has been solved in 96.
Hunter Shea has been apprehended.
Everybody in this story has died of old age.
The crazy mopper has been apprehended.
17 mops and bodies were discovered in his backyard.
So much filth, and only one mop to clean it all up.
That they should do CGI Robert Stack.
Yeah, him and Loomis together, solving crimes and battling psychopaths.
All right, that's all the news I got. You guys ready to talk about what we watched?
Sure.
Yep.
Let's go.
We have such sights to show you.
Okay. I want to hear what the new franchise is. Jason, what do you got?
Bring the energy, Brant.
Actually, this has been pretty good. I started watching Wrong Turn. The chat decided last week Wrong Turn should be it. So I watched the first two.
Eliza Dushku.
I haven't seen the first one since I think I saw it in the theaters. I'm pretty sure back in 2003, which blows my mind. It's been that long.
Mm-hmm.
Eliza Dushku, Emmanuel. I never know how to say her name. Shrikwi.
Sure.
Yeah, we'll go with her.
Completely wrong.
I guarantee it's spot on. And a bunch of other people you kind of recognize from horror movies. This is a good movie. I liked it back then. I like it now. It's short. It's got a killer pace to it. It's got some solid practical effects. There's not a whole lot to not like here.
No, I agree. It's an undersung horror movie.
Yeah, the only part in the whole movie where I was like, where are they? Is I'd forgotten about this. About 3/4 of the way through, they climb these trees.
Yes.
And they're walking on these branches that look like they're in the Amazon. Like something out of Avatar. I'm like,
oh, yeah.
It's like The Hobbit or something.
Yeah.
They're all up there above the Mirkwood.
We've fallen into the Shire.
So like the branches are bigger than most tree trunks you see in a regular forest. So it was like, where are they?
I was going to mention that. I've only seen the first one of this series.
Me too.
And I saw it recently, like maybe a year or two ago. Like we had a big TV in our office and we just watched it after work one day. And I just remember being struck like, I don't remember this part in the trees. This awful odd.
It's a little ridiculous, but I'll tell you what, when I was watching this and I looked up the director, because I was like, I wonder what else he's done. The answer is almost nothing. Which is crazy. Yeah. This movie was a success. Pretty much everyone I've ever talked to likes it. He did a movie called The Alphabet Killer, which took 5 years. And he did not do another movie. He has not done another movie that did not come out that was a made for TV movie. He has not done another theatrical. How crazy is that?
It's crazy.
Really?
He's
anybody who does a Resident Evil movie, other movies.
He's done 2 made for TV movies, which I don't know, maybe that could be Netflix or something. I'm not sure. And a couple episodes of television and a documentary, and that's it.
That's a shame.
That is a huge shame.
Unless he found something else he likes to do, then I don't mind.
Could be.
If he gets back into things, I hope he brings Eliza Dushku with her because we don't see enough for her.
Nope.
Didn't she win some big lawsuit and got paid like millions of dollars? So
she
probably deuced.
See you later, suckers.
So Wrong Turn. It's hard to go wrong with. It's one I don't go back and revisit. And watching it, I don't know why, because it's a good movie. I thoroughly enjoyed it.
I haven't watched it in a few years. I think I gotta dig in. I might do this series after you're done. It depends. I'm gonna read The Pain on Your Face in a couple of weeks and see.
So far, my mood is elevated from children.
So far, so good.
If not, Hunter, you watch so many movies as it is, but once October rolls around, that seems like a perfect one for you to sneak in there.
Watch them all in one day, probably.
Yeah, not a lot of
to work.
How does Joe Bob put it? Not a lot of plot to get in the way of the story or something like that.
Yeah,
that is Wrong Turn.
That's awesome. That's all we want, man.
Yep.
You want me to go?
I sure do. I am bated breath.
Okay. Did either of you see the documentary Scream Queen, My Nightmare on Elm Street?
No, it's on my to-do list because that movie.
So yeah, this is the documentary about Nightmare on Elm Street Part 2, and it really centers around the main actor Mark Patton, and kind of like how that movie destroyed him thoroughly. And it's weird. It's watching this because it's like he's on the convention circuit now, and the whole thing is that there's going to be this cast reunion at one of these conventions, so you're kind of waiting for that. But his gripe is with the guy who wrote it, because at the time the guy was like, "Dude, I didn't mean this to be a gay movie. It's the way he acted it. He made it gay." So he blamed him. So there's going to be like a reckoning with the two of them at one point, or at least you hope. And they're not a spoiler. I'll just let you know there is, but it's kind of cool to watch how that plays out. I thought it was actually a pretty fascinating movie, and it's both watching society and the way society reacts to the gay community in the 80s, which, my daughter, who is bi, I was like, when she came out, I was like, yeah, sure, we know. Everybody knows. But I'm like, I tell her all the time, if this was the 80s, Like if you think that it's a problem now, just you can't even imagine what it was like in the 80s. So he dealt with that, and then he also spent like the next few decades just dealing with this anger inside of him that just ate him away, along with AIDS, because he was dating another actor who gave him AIDS.
Over the movie?
Anger over the movie, anger over his treatment, anger over how he felt the directors and the writers kind of threw him out to the wolves. So it was really it's a fascinating movie. And let me tell you, if I ever see this guy at a convention, I actually want to go up. I will pay for an autograph, and just so I can have a moment to talk to him, because I thought it was really cool.
Wow.
So a big Freddy guy. I love part 1 and I love part 3, and part 2 is one of the biggest disappointments of my movie going life.
Yeah.
But then when I watched that Never Sleep Again documentary, it was so interesting to learn some of the stuff behind the scenes from that. So when I heard about this, I was like, oh, I want to check this out. And that might lead me to watching the movie again. But every time I actually watched the movie, I didn't realize when I saw it, all the subtext that was going on in that movie. I was just like, what are they doing to Nightmare on Elm Street? This movie's just so lame.
Well, it's, you know what? I don't know anybody who caught the gay subtext when we were watching it. It just was a shitty movie.
Yep.
So anybody who thinks that they don't like the movie because you're bashing gays, no, it just sucked. But there was a cool interview with Robert Englund where he was talking about this homoerotic scene with him and the main guy, and Robert Englund wanted to lean right into it, like that was his goal, and they were like, dude, if you let him do that, you'll never act again. So it is, if you love Nightmare on Elm Street, and I'm not a big fan of the series, but this is a really fascinating movie.
I'd like to check it out, because it's like you said, Jack, the best part of the documentary, I think, is the part about 2. And it might be because it's the worst movie, but the story behind it was so fascinating. I really dug that part of the doc.
Yeah, and it's on Shudder, so
cool.
Go for it.
Okay, I got a lot to unpack this week. I think I'm gonna lead with the big one. Hunter, you suggested watching Channel Zero.
Yes.
So a few weeks ago, I started watching it. I've gotten through all 4 seasons. So
whoa,
Candle Cove. There's 6
Jesus.
episodes each.
Mm-hmm.
I started a few weeks ago though, so I've been just holding back. Every once in a while, I've said I'm watching Channel Zero, but I just 6 episodes. They're like 45 minutes each, I think. So there was some work involved, but it also wasn't Herculean. Candle Cove is the first one. No End House the second. Butcher's Block third. Dream Door is the fourth. Hunter, you are 100% right. This is one of the best horror series ever. It is criminally not talked about. When people, and look, I know normies don't stumble upon this kind of stuff, but there are not enough people out there. Everybody's telling me to watch Black Mirror and this and that. This should be one of the first things people are like, have you watched Channel Zero yet? Go watch that. It's so freaking good. I can't wait to hear which season is your favorite, because I think between the 3 of us, and if we had 10 people who watch this, you'd get a bunch of different answers as to what your favorite season is, because they're all, the great thing about this show is the tone is the same throughout. It's dead serious. They never cheat. There's no cheap jump scares or anything, but all 4 seasons are completely different stories. I guess it's based on creepypasta.
It's all quiet, creeping, weird dread.
And anytime you might get the least bit, like you think you might be getting bored. I never got bored, but if you ever thought like, oh, what are they doing? They immediately do something to pull you back in. So there was never a point. I was never even close to, am I going to keep going with this? I was like, I can't wait for the next one. I think my favorite season was the first one, Candle Cove, which is with the pirates, this kids show with pirate puppets and stuff, and this teeth monster. If I had a guess, Jason, did you watch this? Okay, so my guess, and I could be wrong, Hunter, I feel like your favorite season would have been Butcher's Block.
Totally. Absolutely. Rutger Hauer,
and it's the goriest one.
Yep. Oh my, and it's my daughter's favorite too. We like flipped over that season.
And it's so different from Candle Cove. That one is the most graphic one.
Yeah.
Now, Jason, if I had a guess with you, I'm gonna go with No End House with you.
You might be right.
The second season.
You might be right. I kind of liked all of them, to be honest. I don't know that I actually have a favorite. but that was a very cool one. Yeah.
And I'm totally the same way. I'm like, if I had only watched one of these seasons and it was a standalone thing, I would have been like, oh, that was so good. But when I stacked them up, maybe it was because it was the first one I watched. I was just watching Candle Cove, and just every episode, I'm just like, this is so good. Oh my god, the puppets are so creepy, and then that teeth monster
thing. Oh my lord!
Oh, so good. So thank you because I've heard about this, and I remember seeing the teeth monster, but it wasn't until like you watched it and were like, I needed to hear somebody just be like, you got to watch this show. I just had been aware of it, but nobody ever like suggested watching it.
Dude, I will start a tent revival and travel the country getting people to watch that.
If they brought this back, what's Netflix thinking? Jump on top of this and make some more.
Somebody, hey Hulu, why don't you hook onto a good show for once?
This is perfectly Shudder. I don't know why.
Yes.
Mm-hmm. No, I mean, maybe they will.
Don't change the 6 episodes that length.
Yes.
Not an ounce of fat on it, especially Butcher's Block.
Yeah.
But just get the same writers and go for it. But so if you are out there, I'm late to the party on this, but if you are like me and you haven't watched it and you're looking for something to watch, dive into this. You're going to love it.
Yep. And you got Barbara Crampton in season 4.
Oh my God. She's not in it a ton, but you do not forget.
She goes out there in that.
Wait, we got Steven Weber's in it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
In Candle Cove, the main character guy was that the guy from the first season of Parks and Rec.
Oh yeah, the guy who dated Ann Perkins.
Yeah.
Oh, that's right. I forgot.
It's a damn good show. I don't know where I heard about it, but I started watching it either during the first season or right after it ended. So each time a new season's come out, I've been all over it because I love that show.
Yeah.
Oh, and before I pass the baton, Pretzel Jack.
Oh.
Mm-hmm.
Pretzel Jack
freaking character
flipped my kids out, and they were adults. They're in their 20s, and they were like, "Oh."
You're getting into the 4th season, going, are they going to run out of gas?
Mm-mm.
And then Pretzel Jack happens, and you're like, "Oh no, the tank is full."
I know. We figured we have to get you a shirt for Christmas.
Pretzel Jack. All right, my turn.
Yep.
Yeah.
So Wrong Turn 2. I'd never watched this.
And everyone says it's the best one.
Directed by Joe Lynch. I did not know that.
Mr.
Yeah.
Mayhem.
Starring Henry Rollins. I did not know that. Not a direct sequel, except they're hillbillies in the woods who are mutants.
Jason, did you get a real hometown feeling with these movies?
I had flashbacks to Family Reunion when I was younger, but
Did you know anybody?
Didn't recognize them, no. The landscape, though, yes.
2 words you could probably hear often in the Brent house was corn mash.
This is insane. That's probably the best way to put it. It's very different from the original. The original is not big on humor, just intensity. This is gory as hell. Some killer gore scenes. The kills are great. Tons of humor. If you've seen any of Joe Lynch's other movies, guy's big on humor. Mayhem, things like that. He's
right.
I had a ton of fun with this. It's ridiculous. It's over the top. It's a good time. I was so pleasantly surprised watching this. It's
is anybody famous in this one?
Henry Rollins.
Henry Rollins.
Is anybody good looking in this one?
Henry Rollins.
There's some.
God, how much do you need, Campisi?
You want a good Henry Rollins movie? Watch that movie. He Never Died.
Oh, it's a good movie.
Yep. So this is basically a reality TV show. This was shot in 2007 at the height of reality TV nonsense. So Henry Rollins is hosting some show about apocalyptic survival out in the mountains, and a bunch of contestants are there, and they're all wearing cameras in the woods and shit. And the hillbillies come down and just start wreaking havoc. You get way more mutants. You get to see their whole operation, how they're surviving up there, what they're doing with people, how they've been getting away with this for a long time. So you get the backstory of the Wrong Turn.
That's what we were all asking for.
Yeah. But it's done in such a bananas way that It's solid. I mean, if you've ever wanted to see two of the mutants have sex, this is your movie.
Dude, all the time.
You ever wanted to see somebody throwing a meat grinder? This is your movie.
All the time. Oh my God.
Want to see a mutant jerking off to a girl who's laying on the beach? This is your movie.
Oh, Hunter, you must have this on Blu-ray.
Oh, have you been looking into my history on my internet?
I have it looping on the bottom of my screen.
It's literal bumping uglies.
It's wild. It's crazy. It's not Shakespeare. It's not meant to be. It's solid. The bar is being raised on this. I can't wait for the inevitable crash.
Oh boy.
This is a franchise I never even think about, and I still, like I said, I only saw the first one. So now that you've said this, and with the Jill Lynch, I think I'm going to put this on the to-do list.
It's worth it.
Yeah.
I'm a little concerned, and it's the reason I never went into the sequels. This is kind of the I was going to say the Gorno height of the late 2000s, the torture porn height.
Yeah.
So I was always afraid that's the direction these movies went, and that is not the case so far. I'm hoping the next couple don't do that. I hope it just keeps going with the crazy slasher, insane kills thing they're doing.
The third one's directed by Justin Bieber, so I'm curious to see what you think.
Can't wait. He must have been like 4.
Yeah. Kid was on it. Nice heart, son. I'm going to put now. I didn't put this on our spreadsheet, by the way, everybody. We put our stuff in the spreadsheet, and then Jason cobbles everything together. This one I just forgot to put in, but since I'm on a documentary kick, thanks to Jack, I watched Doomed: The Untold Story of Roger Corman's The Fantastic Four. Damn, this was good, man. I love this. It is such a behind the scenes look at how Hollywood will just fuck you hard. And it's funny because for part of it, and they got Roger Corman, he's in there. So they interviewed him and everything. Nobody in Marvel would come on. But it's how this one dude has the rights to Fantastic Four by some miracle and just hires Corman's company for $1 million to make a Fantastic Four movie in like as soon as possible before he loses the rights, knowing that by them doing that and having the threat of that coming out, Marvel will pay them double or more to shelve it and just kill it. So that's what the whole thing is.
So shitty.
It's so shitty. And they interview all the actors. And Jack, the woman who played Sue Storm, now she's got to be in her 50s. She does not look like she's aged.
She hasn't aged a day. She's prettier than she was then. Almost.
She's literally a superhero. But it was really cool. And the guy who played Dr. Doom, it was Robert Culp's son.
Yeah.
And I thought he was fast. Every time he got on the screen, I was like, oh my God. Like you couldn't stop watching this dude.
I loved everything he said. I was glued to, because the love these people put into this movie, especially him and the Reed Richards guy.
Yeah, the two of them and everybody was so invested in it. And the crew, and Jason, you'll love like with them talking about how the special effects and how they were like, outsourcing it. And
I got to go get something. Keep talking.
Yeah, you'll love every aspect of that. And it's cool listening about how they're trying to steal film prints before they know it's going to disappear forever and breaking into warehouses and just craziness. So it was really cool. And they show some like, convention stuff and everything. But the interviews are really interesting. But I'm telling you, if you're a budding filmmaker, you should always know what you're getting into. So this is the total dark side of Hollywood.
You're going to love this.
What has he got?
I was going through some old boxes. This is the Film Threat magazine.
Good Lord. Are you kidding me?
How the hell do you have that?
I had it in a box. I bought it when it came out.
The guy who wrote that article is big in this movie, and they keep showing that magazine over and over in the movie.
You should get that signed by somebody.
Damn.
And I'm like, I'm going through some stuff. I'm throwing some things out, and other things. This is not getting thrown out.
Hell no.
Wow.
It's amazing.
It's not in mint condition, but it's in pretty damn good shape.
Somebody's got to buy the rights to that and remaster it. I guarantee you people are going to buy it.
It still hasn't been released, right?
No, it's still like an underground. Like every convention you go to, it's there.
Yeah, you can get it.
Yeah, that's how I saw it. I got a bootleg somewhere.
They're terrible.
It's probably on YouTube.
But yeah, the copy I saw was like 60 generations old.
Somewhere in my basement, I have the VCR bootleg I bought probably in the 90s.
Yeah, me too. So awesome. It's on Amazon Prime.
I'm so happy you watch it. I'm telling you, when I saw that pop up, you just have one of those, like, I don't care what time of night it was or whatever. I was just like, oh, I'm watching this right now. I like, there was no.
Yeah, that was like you heard the brakes screech.
Yeah, like,
there we go.
This exists. I watched the trailer and I was just like, an hour and a half I enjoyed so much. Oh,
yeah. It's cool watching how you can make a big budget film on nothing. It's strictly passion.
I'm looking forward to watching it. I remember I rented a VHS tape whenever the hell that was supposed to come out, and there was a trailer for the movie at the beginning of the tape, and I kept waiting forever for that movie to come out, and it just never did.
Nope. Little Jason's still waiting and crying on his doorstep.
Oh, I got three Fantastic Four movies. I'm still waiting for one that's good.
Those two were terrible. I prefer Corman's version.
Oh yeah, it's got heart. It's got a lot of heart.
I'll take the Hanna-Barbera world of super adventure with from the fantastic to the fantastic.
Holy cajoli, I love that cartoon.
It's clobbering time. Okay. I watched a 2020 new release.
2020.
Called Behind You. It's one of these haunted mirror kind of movies with these two little girls. Their mother dies. They move in with their aunt who's a little bit mean to them or whatever. And it turns out, like, if you say this nursery rhyme kind of thing, the dead can come back to the mirror kind of blah, 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 blah.
Of course. I'm
not going to spend a lot of time on this. This movie did not do it for me. I don't recommend it. It's maybe a newbie or teenagers who put it on at a party might like it.
That's a demographic.
That's a demographic. For me, as a grizzled horror fan.
Is it a Get Off My Lawn movie?
It's get off my screen movie.
You kids.
So I'm not going to spend a lot of time on it. I watched it. Didn't float my boat. If you watch the trailer, I think you could tell. I kind of knew it wasn't going to float my boat, but it looked like it might have some protection. No new ground covered. But like I said, some kids might be flicking around and stumble upon this, and it scares them and makes them a horror fan or something. Or this is the movie that if a guy wants to make out with a girl and put it on, she gets scared, cuddle, and you never finish the movie. That's my suggestion.
Does it happen anymore, or is it just straight like you porn? I don't know what the dating world is like anymore. It's been so long. I'm assuming it's filthy.
Well, I never heard you porn and chill. I've heard Netflix and chill. So
yeah, man. Let's just have sex watching porn. But the second time we have it, let's film it. And the third time, I'll load it up. That's what I assume the dating scene is. Let's hope I never get single. Yeah.
That sounded like maybe something you've lived.
Hold on a second. I need to get my mop.
That's a shame about the Mirror movie. I like a good haunted mirror film. There's been like 2
Oculus mirrors.
I watched an indie one last year that I liked.
Beauty?
And I can't remember the name of it anymore. Shit. Where's Audra? We need her cards to go back through.
That's right.
All right. So I'm assuming you guys have heard all the craziness about the so-called Snyder Cut of Justice League that's coming out.
Oh, I know a lot about it.
Yeah, it's an interesting time to be a film fan because that whole series has just been shit on by Warner Brothers so much that by the time it got to Justice League, it was just an incomprehensible mess. That movie is so freaking bad. It's one of the worst things I've ever seen in the theater.
Jesus.
Have you watched it?
No, not a chance.
It is bad. Like, it's bad. Like so I could do a So Bad It's Good episode on it. It's that just...
Did that come out before or after Aquaman?
Before.
Yeah. Okay.
Like, you can just tell 2 directors worked on it, and one was going for the dark vision of Zack Snyder, and then they brought in Joss Whedon to try to throw some ham-fisted jokes in, and it just made it bad. So I am... And, the whole Warner Brothers thing they were doing there, Man of Steel, it's very polarizing. Either people really like it or some people hate the Dark Superman take on it. And I loved it. So I'm a big Man of Steel fan, and I liked Batman vs Superman to a degree. I did not understand the story, but I really loved the Batman stuff in it, and I really loved the Wonder Woman stuff in it. So it made it an enjoyable view. I went back and rewatched the extended cut because that's as close to what Snyder wanted to do. So when this whole fiasco came out with the Snyder cut, I actually looked into all this, and the man didn't even want to do Batman vs Superman. He wanted to do Man of Steel 2. So basically all of these movies have not been in his plan. So
Wow.
they made him release a shortened Batman vs Superman with 30 minutes out of it that makes it an incomprehensible mess. If you go back and watch the Ultimate Edition, it's pretty damn good. It still has a couple of those little Snyder things in it where you're like, why does Superman saying his mother's name like make Batman not want to kill him anymore? Like, what? That's stupid.
Don't say your mom's name.
But all the shit at the beginning when you're watching that you do not understand what's happening in the desert and all that, it makes sense now. It's insane to me that a studio would take a movie and cut 30 minutes out so they can get more showings. But by doing so, they make it a shitty movie. So if you have seen Batman vs Superman and you hated it, you might not like this. But if you saw it and you thought parts of it were good, but overall maybe it wasn't your thing, this might change your mind. It's a pretty solid movie.
You should watch
a ton of money regardless.
You should watch the extended cut. It's better than the regular one. They rushed. The thing is that came out right around the time of Civil War, and everything that Marvel was doing right, DC was doing wrong. Civil War was a bunch of movies that worked relationships up so that when Captain America and Iron Man fought, they had history together. In the Dark Knight Returns comic book, Batman and Superman fight, and there's a huge history between them. There's this big fight. They just met. They don't even know each other.
Right.
And the biggest hole you can poke, there's so many things that don't make sense in it. If you just think, and I'm usually somebody that lets a lot of stuff fly, but there's a freaking kryptonite spear that Batman leaves like on the other side of town. And his plan is to like have a Superman and him fight till they get all the way over here to like get it. Like instead of just bringing it. Like there's little stuff like that you're like, that really like it's just.
You can tell the movie was thrown together very quickly when they made him scrap Man of Steel 2, because my biggest problem with the entire narrative is Doomsday does not show up until about 30 minutes into the movie, or with 30 minutes left of the movie. He's like the main villain that they fight, and you do not see him through the whole thing. It's not well constructed, but the Batman stuff in this movie is so freaking good.
And
It's
Wonder
so
Woman is the best part of the movie.
Yeah, it really makes me wish we'd gotten that Ben Affleck Batman, because
also
he is badass in this.
Wonder Woman was doing a pretty good job of fighting Doomsday, and then Superman is the one that takes the spear to fly it, and it was like, it's got to be me. And you're like, no, this Amazon's doing a really good job. Give her the spear.
Shoving a pig.
Okay.
So, the interesting thing about that movie, though, is between that and Justice League, Snyder did have a plan that was involved Darkseid, and when you get to Justice League, he wanted to do like a lot of different stuff, which he's going to get to in the Snyder Cut, that involved like Superman's death. Eventually, Batman was supposed to die, and Darkseid was supposed to be in it, and it was supposed to be like, I think, a 2-part thing, and it was going to be this big epic thing. And I think because when you watch the Justice League now, you're like, what the hell? There's a dream sequence in the future and all this. You're like, what are they talking about? Like all that, like is so out of context. I can't wait to see this Snyder Cut because it's been so talked about. And if it sucks, that's going to be the biggest thud in the whole world.
It's going to be interesting to see what he can do with this. So I don't know. I like his movies. I think sometimes the writing could definitely use some tweaking, but I like his visual style. So we'll see.
Listen, if they're going to do this, can they go back to the Event Horizon people and find that lost footage they had and release that cut?
Please.
Yeah, that would be nice.
Please. You see little clips of the video on the ship, and you just see a little bit happening in the background. You're like, what the hell is that?
All right, Hunter, what you got?
Well, I still would rather lick a handrail in a subway than watch this Justice League movie, but for those who like that, I wish them the best. I watched this movie. Now, I don't know if people know this. Prom Night. You guys ever hear of Prom Night?
The new release?
1980. It's relatively new. It just came out, just a few days ago.
Prom Night 2. Hello, Mary Lou.
Oh, that's a great movie in its own.
I really like that.
So, Prom Night, if you haven't seen it, stars Jamie Lee Curtis. It came out in 1980. So, this is during her meteoric rise, and she's doing everything under the sun. And Leslie Nielsen. And I'm watching this movie going, did he have that fart machine with him when he was making this movie? Because if you listen to anybody talk about Leslie Nielsen, they all talk about how he just had multiple fart machines and just blast farts when people were doing scenes and behind. He just always had it on him. And I remember seeing him on talk shows in the 80s and 90s. So, because he's so serious in this, he's not this is before he became, on Airplane and everything. So, but it starts with a bunch of kids. Kids are creeps, weird. We don't like kids. They're playing in this abandoned building and they're just saying their weird little nursery rhymes, whatever, and just torturing this little girl. And then she dies. And then we fast forward to it's prom night. And, there is a bunch of people going to prom. One girl wants to lose her virginity. Jamie Lee Curtis, let me tell you, can dance her ass off, man. She is boogieing straight on Saturday Night Fever on the dance floor. I
don't remember this.
Oh, my God. The dance sequence is amazing.
Remember she was in that aerobics movie with John Travolta?
Yes.
Perfect.
Yeah. I bet you she got that role because of the way she danced and moved in this movie. But you could tell as a young girl, she was spending a lot of time in the discos. It's a fun movie. It's a cool slasher movie. You might not see who the killer is coming, even seconds before the reveal, because you look and you go, "Oh, I know who it is," and then they pull the mask off. You're like, "Oh, don't know who that. I didn't know." But cool movie. If you haven't seen it, it's a slasher classic. And then watch Prom Night 2, which has no relation to Prom Night whatsoever. They just gave it the name for the cachet. But check out the first one, and it's Jamie Lee. Come on.
I haven't seen the first one in a long time.
So good. I don't know. I think it was on Shudder or Prime. I didn't pay for it, so I'll tell you that much.
It's definitely available. I think it is on Shudder. I keep meaning to.
I think so.
That's a good rewatch.
Revisit. Speaking of rewatches, there's a movie that's very well known in horror circles, and I watched it a couple of times. It came out in 1979. I probably watched it in 1980, 81, somewhere around there, probably a couple of times in the 80s. But I've not watched it since then, and it's always been kind of like a sentimental favorite. I was fond of it, but I never really went back to it. I'm talking, of course, about Phantasm.
For some reason, I thought you were going to say Let's Scare Jessica to Death.
That was the 70s, and that was a movie that scared the hell out of me when I was like 10.
There's a nice Blu-ray version of it out there now.
I just watched that like a year ago. Phantasm is one of these ones that we knew about it, finally rented it, and I remember vividly watching this movie and just being like, what the hell is going on here? Are those Jawas? What's with that flying ball? The big guy. So there were specific things I remembered about it. The tall man, the ball, the razor ball, the killer Jawas, the mortuary. But literally, like, I don't know if I ever watched any of the sequels. Maybe I saw the second one, but it was one of those movies that I just saw it, enjoyed it. I probably watched it, like I said, a couple of times and never got back. So over the weekend, I was like, I've been meaning to watch Phantasm. Now's the time. My God, did I have a blast going back? And I forgot 100% of the woman in lavender and all that stuff. I forgot there's a scene where the two main character guys just jam on their guitars and sing this little song.
Reggie.
Dude, that whole series is a COVID-19 fever dream.
Yep.
I mean, Jesus.
Yeah, the ending is a what the hell was that? When I saw it, it was just a typical horror movie ending. I was like, oh, it ends, then they tack this thing on to make you question. It's like the original Nightmare on Elm Street. Everything happens, then the thing with the mother through the door happens. You're like, so did that really happen, or is that a dream, or does that have any bearing on what actually happened, or is it just a tag? This had one of those endings. I guess the later movies will go back and explain.
You haven't seen the later movies?
No, I may have saw two.
Oh dear God!
but I don't remember.
I've seen 1 and 2. Yeah, I haven't.
I've watched the whole series 2 or 3 times through.
Oh, so is it worth the whole thing?
I love this series. It's one of my favorites.
Okay, good.
You're gonna hate it.
If you like the first one, you'll like the rest of them. If you do not like the first one, if you don't like the dreamy, what the hell's happening style of the first one, you're not going to like any of the rest because that's how they all are.
And if you like these movies, read Don Coscarelli's book, True Indie. That's a really good book.
I've been meaning to.
Yeah.
I think I might have seen the second one.
The second one's a lot more Hollywood. It would be more palatable for somebody who didn't like the first one. It's a little more of a typical narrative structure. And then it goes off the rails again after that.
Yeah. But it was fun to go back and watch it. Hunter, I know you have like a relationship with this movie. Like, don't you? Like, you've watched this like a million times.
No, I'm actually, it's a goof between me and my wife because
I knew you had a joke with your wife about this movie.
She would keep buying me that movie for me. I'm like, I don't want this damn movie. And I would keep buying her Christine. She goes, I don't want this movie.
So you don't like Phantasm at all?
I got to be in the mood.
Yeah,
which is
I love it.
Code for drunk as fuck.
Listen, for something I haven't seen in, I don't know, let's call it 30 years. I don't know.
Steve Barnard says Children of the Corn is better. And
well, there you go. Now you know you need to keep watching Phantasm.
Yeah.
So listen, if you haven't watched Phantasm in a long time, it's very fun to go back and watch. So that's.
I have one Phantasm question for you since you just watched it. It's something I always wondered. So the brother, Mike, I think is his name. The older brother who has the
there's Jody and another
Jody. That's it. Mike, I think, is the younger one. Jody. He drives the sweet car, the Hemi Cuda. He's having sex with the girl earlier in the film, right? But then at the end of the film, I'm pretty sure it shows she is the tall man.
Yeah.
So is he having sex
they show the tall man. The first scene is boobs and that girl, but she turns into the tall man. So you know.
So he's banging the tall man, right?
Yeah.
Okay. All right. That's always the way that's
what happens. It's like getting a hooker in Bogota.
Surprise!
I
think you're with a woman and it's Angus Scrim. Happens all the time.
If it happens now, even scarier. Boy. Touch my balls, boy.
All right. Anybody have anything else?
Done.
No.
All right. Let's get to the main feature.
Yay.
You like scary movies?
Uh-huh.
What's your favorite scary movie?
I don't know.
You have to have a favorite. What comes to mind?
Okay. Last week, I told the story about how I thought my friend had suggested to watch Extracurricular. So I watched it, and it turns out he had told me to watch Extracurricular Activities. But I liked Extracurricular better than Extracurricular Activities. And I was curious as to what you guys would think of it. It was free on Prime. So we thought, let's watch this. It's a movie about 4 high school students whose hobby is to be the strangers and go pick somebody or pick a house and go kill people.
Mm-hmm. That's the movie right
there. That's the narrative.
That's the movie.
And you go no further.
So we all know I like this movie.
Mm-hmm. We do.
Hunter, what'd you think?
Well, I hunkered down with the missus last night. I said, let's fire up the old television and the old cabinet. And I opened up the cabinet doors and television was there. And we turned it on. And it was greeted by young children, young, awful teenage children who we fucking can't stand. Well, I'm on a theme today.
What is happening? What are
but
you
I
doing?
love my kids. I don't know what I'm doing. I'm falling into something.
What the hell is this performance?
I'll fall to a character and do it for like hours. So, look, do you listen to My Chemical Romance? So
sure.
There's a song, Teenagers scare the living shit out of me. The whole time I watch this movie, I go, they should just play this song in the background for the entirety of this movie. Because it's for 2 brothers and 2 girls, and they commit these crimes, and they're all kind of outsiders, but they're very different, wildly different from each other. Even the brothers are very different from each other. And one is like, he's all into Nietzsche. Oh, why don't you give him what's the Holden Caulfield, Catcher in the Rye while you're at it and see what happens. So I actually enjoyed this movie a lot. I thought the kills were kind of cool. I thought the kids were all good. In fact, my daughter walked in. One of them's from Degrassi High. Like the real asshole brother.
The chaotic one.
Yeah. So yeah, I actually it was way better than I thought it had a right to be. And we both liked it. We both had a good time. So good pick there.
Yeah, I'm with you guys. I thoroughly enjoyed it. This is not a movie I would have picked. When I brought it up on my Fire TV, I'm looking at the image. It looked like a random image they picked to be the background. I'm like, no, I would not have watched this.
No, really.
But it's really well made. It looks great. It's got good pacing. I mean, I really only had 2 complaints with this. They're more story complaints that aren't a big deal, but just kind of with the feel of it. But I liked it. For a movie you stumbled across on Prime because you picked the wrong movie, it's shocking.
Yeah. And the ending, I love the ending. I was like, oh, that's sweet. That's so long.
The ending is really what makes it, because that opening scene with the couple in the cabin, I thought was okay, but that didn't really blow me away or anything. I was like, okay. And then you sort of have that first act where you get to know everybody. And I thought sometimes the writing was maybe a tad clunky. The 2 brothers were clearly like, I'm chaotic. I am planning and, methodical.
Yeah.
So there's a little bit of that I was like, it didn't really bother me, but I was just kind of like, okay, whatever. Where's this going?
I like to dance and I like girls.
But I'll tell you that second half of that movie, they, like I said, they don't pull punches. They went for it. The movie has an edge to it, and I kept waiting for it to wimp out, and it didn't.
Yeah, exactly. And at this point, there's a character who is way crazier than the others that you don't realize. Like they don't, reveal that too early, which is good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
One of my issues is, and it's not so much an issue with this movie because it was well done, but a lot of times when I'm watching a movie and there isn't someone to root for, I'm not a huge fan of that. But
right.
And I would have liked having somebody to root for in this. I guess the sheriff is maybe the guy, but he's not in it that much.
No.
But it doesn't kill the movie for me the way it does a lot of other ones. So it still worked.
There's kind of a moment where you think one of the girls is going to be who you root for.
Exactly.
She's maybe a half a hair not as awful as the rest of them, but she's still
a psychopathic murderer.
Yeah.
Just having a niggling of conscience that maybe this is wrong, or maybe I just would rather be with my girlfriend.
That's it. Like it wasn't like a moral thing. It was just like she got something else to take her attention away.
Yeah. Like a teenager.
Yeah.
I'm going to make stupid decisions right now because I'm a teenager with raging hormones.
Oh, the teenage days of killing your neighbors.
So like I said, I was like so floored by how much I liked the movie because just a friend of mine suggested it. So I didn't know while I was watching it that I had watched the wrong movie. I didn't know till the next day, but I was like, wow, where the hell did he hear about this movie? Nobody has said any. I've never seen a review. None of the upcoming movie lists I see have it. Nobody's talking about it in any podcast. Where the hell did he find this thing? And then when he's like, no, you watched the wrong movie. I'm going, why is nobody talking about this movie? I thought it was pretty good. That's why I wanted to see if you guys agreed with me or not. Because if you both came in and were like, dude, that was terrible, I'd be like, all right, I just was in the mood for this, I guess. I don't know. So at least, there's 3 people.
No, I mean, and it's a 2-year-old movie, so it's been around.
Yeah. I don't know how none of us have heard of it. That blows my mind. I mean, for the amount of time I spend trolling through Prime and Netflix and shit trying to find something, for this to have never popped up as a recommendation for me. Well, maybe it did, and I saw that image and I was like, nah.
Well, that's the thing. I was going to say, if you see an image of 4 teenage kids just, standing there, you're going to be like, oh, no. Not gonna watch that.
It may have popped up. And it's like, no, I'm good.
Because it looks kind of like a Disney XD show.
Yeah, it's not a good image. You should at least use the mask lit up or something, or
I thought those were kind of cool.
This movie says 2020 on Prime, so
IMDb says it came out in 2018.
So it probably came out on like
2019,
some circuit like festival or something. But if this could count for 2020 in my book. if you want to put it on your list.
Wasn't quite there for me because of one of. What's that?
It's not going to be on my list, but I enjoyed it thoroughly.
It's such a great Prime find, though. It's one of those that when you get done watching, you're like, yeah, that's all right.
Well, we were talking like the past couple of weeks about it's all how you approach these movies. Some of the movies we've watched because we rented them, we're like, yeah, if I had found that on Shudder, I think I would have really liked it more. So this one, we came at it the right way. It's like, oh, I discovered it on Prime. What a great movie.
Yeah. And if it were to be talked up a lot, I think I might have gone into it with expectations that were too high, because this is a very, very simple story. Like, dead simple story. When I was writing the description for the podcast, I was like, what the hell am I even going to put in this? All right, murderous teens. That's the story.
Yep.
And you did notice the nods to The Purge and The Strangers?
Now, The Strangers,
I did
definitely.
not think about The Strangers, but now that you're saying it, yeah.
The masks.
The masks.
Yeah, that's
the
what
masks
I thought.
at the beginning were like The Purge masks.
I thought that was, and I like how they were like, plan, like, how do you plan? And the guy said something like, because they might use different masks at one point. He was worried about conformity or something. I'm like, okay.
Yeah.
The aesthetics have to be just right, man.
Yeah. But no, good pick. I was surprised. I think it's a first time filmmaker, or at least a first time.
He did another movie, Transcendent, but other than that, he's done shorts.
Oh, that's right. You're right. I did see that. So well done. I mean, you would not know the guy doesn't have a bunch of movies under his belt.
And I was surprised that there was very little humor in this movie. There's a little bit at the beginning, but they play something like a Tragedy Girls, did it kind of a similar premise, but it was much funnier. It was more satire. This played it straight.
Yeah. Yep.
I think that's what made it better. I've seen too many like satires and goofs lately, so it was nice to see that just a hardcore.
I remember what I said last week was We Summon the Darkness. Like, I felt like that the crescendo of that movie kind of took the foot off the gas at the end, and like they had that whole outboard motor thing that they didn't do a whole lot with.
And yeah, Johnny Knoxville, who you didn't do a whole lot with,
right?
Yeah.
I felt like this movie did go for it, where that movie kind of like left me like, it could have.
And would sometimes, like, there were some things I thought were definitely going to happen that didn't happen, like, because Jason, we're always like plotting, right? So we're always figuring out storylines, and we're like, oh yeah, this is the natural progression. And I'm like, oh no, it isn't. Awesome, good job.
Yeah.
All right, guys. So 3 thumbs up. You guys ready for some spoilers?
Yeah.
Okay. If you have it and watch the movie, go watch it. And if you want to hear the spoiler talk, that begins now. Spoiler bell.
Oh, don't tell me spoilers. I don't want to know.
Okay, so the big twist at the end of this movie is that that one girl who you don't expect to be, I think one of you, Jason, was it you?
I said one is a true psychopath more than anything else.
She turns out to be kind of like the big bad. I don't know. But
Jenny.
She ends up framing her, the teacher, with the gun. What did you guys think of that whole like this guy? He's not dead, but like that whole climax.
He earned it for that douchey man bun and his stupid British accent. Dude, I said, man, he does deserve it. Why does she have his cell phone number? And why would he respond to her? Like, why would he come to the house? I think he wanted to get laid. So, like, in my mind, I'm always like, it's justified. He bought it because he came with bad intentions.
Maybe that's why she picked him. He already had a reputation or something.
Because don't you get the feeling that she'd been working out this scenario for quite some time? Because they're plotters and planners, right? So she's probably been seeding this guy all along.
Well, they had, because she says to the one brother, we have to do our plan. And he doesn't want to do it because he knows he won't be able to lie to his father about the death of his brother. So that's why she double crosses him and does the plan herself. So they had already, this was like their out to stop doing it.
Yeah.
And it all went to shit.
Sure did. Oh, not for her.
So when I was saying, like, one of my issues a little bit, and it's not a huge issue, but it's like the story was so bare bones it almost felt like it should have been the first act of a movie where, they're all killing people and she double crosses them. And then the sheriff father finds out and starts trying to like prove it's her. This felt like a very short story stretched out. Not that it was boring. I'm not trying to say that, but it was so bare bones. It felt like there should have been more to it.
I totally. There's no character arcs. Zero.
Nothing. Like literally nothing.
And they didn't do a whole lot with the sheriff and his sons. Like you thought that there would be more of a payoff or something. But that also was that played into why the twist at the end works, because we're all expecting some sort of confrontation with the father and everything, and instead it plays out the way it did. So they kind of use that to sleight of hand to keep you off what they're doing.
When you end it with the sheriff father of the two dead boys hugging the girl who murdered them, I thought that was awesome. And
that
at
was
least
a nasty twist.
Wink to the camera was just. I thought that was an excellent ending.
Yeah. So what gave that ending punch was not having it be a typical narrative. So that's kind of what made it work. It just, in watching it, I was like, boy, there's not a lot here. But I think that's what makes the ending feel like a kick to the crotch.
Yeah. And look, it was just what sometimes that's all you need. You don't need to be bogged down with all these things. You just want to have a little bit of horror fun.
Listen, when they're on that farm and then the cop shows up and they're this close to getting caught, the tension of that scene is awesome. And you were saying, how the hell are they getting out of this? And the girl and the victim in the barn, that whole thing. I love that whole scene. Oh, that was really good.
See, that was the only scene that I felt a lot of tension for me because I liked the sheriff and I was saying there was nobody to root for. I was rooting for the sheriff. So when it looked like he was about to get stabbed by the crazy girl, that was like the tensest moment of the movie for me.
Yeah. No, that was one of the best parts of the whole movie.
Yeah,
did you guys think that the woman, her and her husband with the barn, didn't she look like Cassandra Peterson?
The
whole time 2 weeks ago, that looks like Cassandra Peterson.
I gotta go back. It's been a couple of weeks for me.
Yeah, I was like, she's gotta live. You can't kill Elvira. But yeah, and then like you think, all right, this is like some tough guy. He's got the big axe and everything. You think, all right, he's going to be a better fighter against these kids. And no, not at all.
No, he did not put up much of a fight.
Mom,
and those were not big teenagers. If one of them broke in the house and was trying to stab me, I'd like my chances.
And the way they dispatched the woman, because after she shoots the girl, like, just shut her up. And that little knife in the neck. Oh, brutal.
Yeah, I actually like that because they stopped screwing around. Like shit got real and they were like, okay, playtime's over.
Yeah. This isn't fun anymore.
Yeah. Good shit.
Yeah, and they burned the place down. That's how you do it, kids. Burn it down.
You do
it. Life tips from Uncle Hunter.
Yeah. If you're going to commit a crime, bring accelerant and a match.
Accelerant. Excellent.
Jack, I know you like the lesbian thing. You like that kiss?
Until you said that, I forgot it even happened.
The post-dance thing kiss.
Yeah, I thought that was funny that they were doing this whole, she's getting into a relationship, and so she's starting to lose interest in the group. So I kept thinking like, oh, so she's gonna like find her morals or whatever. And then when she didn't, I was like, I loved that. I was like,
yeah,
oh, awesome. Yeah. Like you totally think she's gonna be the heart of gold turn, and she doesn't. So
big red herring.
They even suspect
she just brings her phone. That's her mistake.
Mm-hmm.
But there was that one scene when she's holding her girlfriend's hand, or they're walking through the reeds, and then her friends are just sitting staring at that river or that creek, and the friend just like and turns away. I'm like, what was the point of that scene?
I forgot about that.
I thought she was going to introduce her to the group, and they'd be like, what the hell? And now we got to kill both of you. But it was just weird. I don't know why that scene was in there.
And now that you mentioned that scene, I remember it. But
whatever. It was a short moment in a pretty good hour and a half movie.
It'll be explained in the sequel where the sheriff goes on the hunt.
I actually like your idea for like extending that movie. That's a good, either in a sequel or just if you had made this movie a little more compact and tacked some stuff onto the end.
Right.
That's the standard movie arc. That this was just like there wasn't a whole lot of a story arc. This was like a Tales from the Crypt episode kind of.
Yeah, but that's all right. We love Tales from the Crypt.
But
Exactly.
I tell you, I love the ending in this movie. I love the third act of this movie so much. That's why I came out of it going, whoa, what a surprise.
Dude, we've been on a roll. We need a movie where there's gonna be division or consensus. It's crap. Come on. What's going on here?
I don't know, and we're not going to get any Hollywood horror for a while, so we're not going to have anything to shit on.
We haven't chosen a movie for next week, but I will say this. I've waited out The Hunt, and it's now like $5. So if you want, we could do The Hunt next week. If not, I'll just watch it, and it'll be one of my movies.
I would love to talk about that movie.
Yeah, that's a fun movie.
Okay, then we'll do The Hunt next week.
I'll watch it again because I forgot a lot of it. Cool.
Yeah, what's her name? Betty Gilpin is amazeballs in that movie.
She kills it.
Yeah. If you love her in Glow, you're going to go gaga over this.
I had no idea who she was, but she's badass.
So, yeah, that's it. Next week, homework, The Hunt.
Homework. But your homework is to share the link to this, write us a review, do all the stuff that helps podcasts. Please, people. Back in you.
Don't bother.
Yes, we have to ascend up the horror podcast ranks now that everybody else is dropping like flies.
Yes.
Yeah.
Over the Cinestate shit.
We'd still be standing.
Yeah,
See,
really. At least
pays-
PC people still hanging in there.
It pays to be associated with no one, supported by few.
I like that.
No, I'm psyched for next week.
Me too.
Excellent. All right. Well, then, everybody in the chat, thanks for coming. Sheridan, thanks for the drinking words. And I guess we'll see everybody next week. Arrivederci.
See you.
Get my gun for the hunt.
Game over.